Welcome back to my 200,000 plus amazing students and subscribers. This is English is Easy. I'm your host, Connor. Today, we are going to be learning English with a story, a very interesting nonfiction story. So, a true story, the story or history of coffee. Here's the lesson plan for today. First, we are going to go line by line through this story, learning lots of new vocabulary as we go. After we finish the story, we will have a vocabulary quiz to check and see how well you paid attention. Finally, at the end of today's lesson, we will have some speaking practice, a chance to improve your spoken English. Click like on this video, say hello in the comments, maybe even become a channel member. These are your ways to support me as your YouTube English teacher, and let's jump into the lesson. Here's our story today, The Journey of Coffee, a tale from ancient berries to global brew. Now, as you can see, some of the more difficult vocab words are highlighted blue. Okay, now as we go along, we are going to be looking at different synonyms for these difficult blue words. Let's take a look at the first sentence in the story here. In the ancient highlands of Ethiopia, a goat herder discovered some intriguing red berries, right? So for example, here, this word intriguing could be replaced with either of these synonyms. Some curious red berries, some interesting red berries, some red berries that caught his eye. These are all different ways of saying the same thing. By learning these synonyms, by learning different ways to say the same thing, we are increasing our linguistic flexibility, which is very important for fluency, right? We need to be able to say something in several different ways. So this is the setting of our story, Ethiopia, right? The country of Ethiopia, the ancient highlands of Ethiopia. So this was a long time ago, right? We have a goat herder, a man whose job it is to look after these goats. He's walking along, making his way along, when he makes an interesting discovery, right? He discovered some intriguing red berries, some interesting red berries, some curious red berries. Once again, these are all different ways of saying the same thing. He noticed that his goats became unusually energetic after nibbling on these berries. Okay, so he noticed something, this goat herder, looking at his goats and observing the reaction they had to eating the berries. He saw that they became unusually energetic after nibbling on the berries. Nibbling, taking small bites. That's nibbling, right? So he's looking at the goats. They become extra energetic, extra lively, extra spirited. They become full of energy. They become hyper. These are all different ways of saying they had lots of energy after nibbling on the berries or taking small bites of the berries or eating the berries. Unusually energetic, unusually lively, spirited, full of energy, hyper, right? So more than usual, more than what would be expected. Before long, word spread among local tribes about the remarkable boost the berries provided. Okay, so people are hearing about these fascinating red berries, and word is spreading quickly, right? Before long, word spread. So people are hearing about the berries. They're talking about them. The local tribes, the groups of people who live nearby, they're all hearing about the remarkable boost the berries provided. Okay, so the berries provide a boost. What's a boost? We could also say pick me up. Yeah, a boost of energy. They fill you with energy in a remarkable way. What's remarkable? If something is remarkable, then it's worth noticing. It's worth paying attention to. It's special in some way. The tribes began experimenting by roasting the berries over open fires, releasing a delightful aroma. A really good smell is an aroma, right? We could say scent, a delightful scent, a delightful fragrance. Okay, an aroma is a good smell. A scent is usually a good smell. A fragrance is definitely a good smell. So these tribes, they are experimenting with the berries, right? They're roasting them over open fires. So adding some fire to the berries and realizing that when this happens, they can smell something delicious, something very fragrant, right? A fragrant scent, a fragrant aroma. Or we could just say a fragrance fills the air. It smells really good when they cook these berries. They brewed a simple drink that awakened their senses and energized them for the day ahead. Okay, so these local tribes, they're experimenting, right? They're adding fire to the berries. They brew, or just, make a simple drink that awakened their senses and energized them for the day ahead. So this drink, it's a simple drink. It's a basic drink. It's a very straightforward drink. It's a plain drink. It's an uncomplicated drink. These are all different ways of saying that this drink was very simple. We could also say there wasn't much to it. Wasn't much to it. Very straightforward, very basic, right? But when they made this simple drink, it awakened their senses. In other words, it really woke them up and energized them. Remember, filled them with energy for the day ahead. So they would have this simple drink at the beginning of the day in order to get an energy boost. Preparing this beverage or drink, right, soon became an essential part of their daily routine. Their daily routine, what they would do every day, how they would go about their day, right? So it became an essential part of their daily routine. In other words, an indispensable part of their daily routine, a crucial part, a fundamental part, a key part, a central part. These all mean the same thing. Preparing the drink, preparing the beverage, getting it ready became a very important part of their daily routine. In other words, they couldn't do without it. They really needed it to go about their day because of this amazing energy boost that it provided them. So word of this magical drink traveled fast throughout the region, okay? It traveled quickly throughout the area, throughout the land, throughout this territory, okay? Throughout this place. Local traders started to exchange these roasted beans in the bustling marketplaces, okay? So we have traders. You give me this, I'll give you that. We can trade, right? And local traders, so people who live in this area, they start to use these beans in their trading, right? They are exchanging the beans in bustling marketplaces. Bustling, we've talked about this word before. It means full of life. There's a lot going on, full of commotion, right? There are lots of people and they are doing things and, there are crowds and noises and it's full of life, full of energy. A lot is happening. So the traders are exchanging these roasted beans. They are trading the beans. They are bartering with the roasted beans. These all mean the same thing, right? As time passed, the intoxicating scent of coffee began to fill the air in towns across Yemen. Okay, so it's spreading out from Ethiopia. The intoxicating scent, the alluring scent, the enchanting scent, the amazing scent. When you smell it, you want more. You want to keep smelling because it smells so good. So we can say that it's intoxicating. In Yemen, Sufi monks adopted coffee to help maintain focus during their long nights of prayer. Okay, so this is really interesting. As coffee is spreading out, it's being used in different ways, right? In Yemen, this new place it has spread to, we have Sufi monks, okay, monks, these religious figures, and they have adopted coffee, or in other words, they are using coffee for a special purpose in order to help maintain focus during their long nights of prayer. So these monks, they have to stay up all night long praying, and this is not easy to do. This takes a lot of energy, and sometimes they lose focus, they lose concentration, they lose alertness. It's difficult to stay awake, right? So coffee is adopted by them as a tool to help maintain focus. Ooh, big sentence. Coffee was adopted by them as a tool to do what? To help maintain what? Maintain focus, or keep up their concentration, keep up their alertness in order to stay awake. Coffee houses, known as, I'm not sure I can pronounce this foreign word here, Quavakhane, I think, emerged as popular venues for conversation and community. Okay, so as coffee is spreading and it's being used by different people in different ways, we have the emergence of coffee houses. Yeah, coffee houses emerged. They started popping up, right? You can see them popping up more and more. In other words, we're starting to see them more and more. They've emerged as popular venues for conversation and community. Popular venues, popular locations, sites, meeting spots, or places, we could also say, for conversation and community. So people are gathering in these coffee houses, they're getting together, they're chit-chatting, having conversation, building community, seeing friends, maybe even talking about work, these kinds of things. So coffee houses, they emerge as venues or places where you can go and do these things. These establishments, or these coffee houses, quickly became favored spots for poets, scholars, and thinkers alike. What does that mean, favored spots? It means the preferred spots. Yeah, the places that these people prefer. Well-liked spots. Yeah, spots that scholars and poets and thinkers like a lot. The chosen spots for these people. Poets, people who write poetry. Scholars, people who study. Thinkers, like philosophers, right? People who think about the important issues and ideas of the day. Okay, so these coffee houses are attracting these kinds of people. These coffee houses are really drawing in these kinds of people. Okay, along ancient trade routes, coffee beans traveled far and wide, reaching distant lands. So it's really spreading out. Coffee beans journeyed far and wide, spread far and wide. Here's a great word, circulated far and wide. Or we can say the beans were in wide circulation. They're going all over the place, journeying all over the place, traveling all over the place, spreading out far and wide. By the 16th century, coffee had made its way to Europe, sparking widespread interest. Wow, so it's gone all the way to Europe by this time in the 16th century. A century is 100 years, right? So the 16th century would be the 1500s. Okay, and it's sparking widespread interest. Sparking widespread curiosity, widespread fascination, widespread intrigue. These all mean the same thing. It means that lots of people are becoming interested in coffee. Lots of people are becoming intrigued by coffee. They're becoming curious about coffee. They're becoming fascinated with coffee. Okay, so European society was hooked on this exotic drink. and its energizing effects. European society, they can't get enough. They couldn't get enough of it. They were crazy about it. They just couldn't do without coffee. So we can say they were hooked on it and its energizing effects. The way it fills them up with energy, they love that, right? They want more. It's a very exotic drink. What is exotic? If something is exotic, then it's appealing to you. It's interesting to you. You are curious about it because it is foreign and very different than what you're used to. For example, to an American like me, there are so many foreign vacation spots, vacation destinations that feel really exotic. Like Thailand feels exotic to Americans because it's just so different. And we're so curious about it, right? It's very attractive, very alluring to us. Japan seems really exotic. Europe seems really exotic. To Americans, these can be very exotic places. What about to you? Is there a foreign country that seems really exotic? Like you're curious about it. It's very different than what you have back home. You want to know more. You want to go explore. Let me know down in the comments section. Coffee houses in Europe soon evolved into centers or hubs or gathering places or meeting spots, or here's that word from earlier, venues. For what? For lively discussion and intellectual exchange. In other words, for big conversations, right? People love to go to these coffee houses and talk, socialize, have big, important conversations. Artists also frequented these cafes to share ideas and collaborate, share ideas and cooperate, share ideas and team up, partner up, work together, all mean the same thing. So artists frequented these cafes. What does it mean to frequent a place? That means you go there a lot. You go there all the time. Not everyone, however, welcomed coffee without hesitation. Some were skeptical of its influence. So some people are looking at coffee and they're feeling skeptical. They're feeling doubtful. They're feeling cautious. They're not totally on board. They're on the fence about coffee. They're feeling iffy. Yeah, they haven't made up their minds if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah, so not everyone is just welcoming coffee without hesitation. In other words, not hesitating at all, not thinking carefully, just welcoming, saying, yeah, this is good, this is definitely good. Some people aren't doing that. Some people are more skeptical of what coffee is. They're not totally sold, is another way we could say this. They're not totally sold on coffee. Means they're not sure about it. A few religious leaders even expressed concerns, so they're a bit worried about it, right? Labeling coffee as a disruptive novelty. So they have labeled coffee. They have given coffee a label. They have said something about it. They are describing it as a disruptive novelty. If something is disruptive, what does that mean? Let's pretend that we are all sitting in English class together, right? And everything is going perfectly well, perfectly smoothly. There are no issues. Everything is going great. But then one student comes in very, very late, makes a big commotion, makes lots of noise, is talking on the phone, is drinking a drink. This would be very disruptive, right? It would destroy the flow of the class. It would break up the flow. Things were going so well, and then this person disrupted the class. Or we could say they were a disruptive person in the class. Novelty is just something new, something people haven't seen before. So these religious leaders, they're looking at coffee and they're saying, this is a disruptive novelty. This thing is new, we're not sure what it is, and it's causing problems to the way we usually do things. Nevertheless, the growing demand for coffee could not be ignored and continued to flourish. What does that mean? It continued to flourish. It continued to thrive, to expand, to grow, even to skyrocket, which means to grow quickly. In other words, it continued to do well. It's still growing. There's high demand for coffee, right? And the demand is so high and it's growing so quickly that it could not be ignored, even though there are groups of people who aren't totally sold, not totally on board with coffee. They're on the fence about coffee, right? They're skeptical, they're hesitant. Even though there are those kinds of people, the reality is that so many other people want coffee. The demand for coffee, give me coffee, is so high that it just can't be ignored. And it continues to flourish, to thrive, expand, or grow, right? Grow, skyrocket. Across the Atlantic oceans, in the New World, in the Americas, large coffee plantations began to emerge or pop up, right? You can see them more and more. A plantation is like a large-scale farm. So these are places where they are producing or they are creating a lot of coffee. We could also say they are putting out a lot of coffee, right? Coffee cultivation became a major industry. It became very lucrative. In other words, you could make a lot of money doing this. It became a very powerful industry, a very influential industry, okay? Transforming economies and lifestyles around the globe. In other words, around the world. All of this is to say that coffee is becoming a big deal. A big deal, right? It is affecting the economy, right? It's affecting money around the world. It's affecting lifestyles, the way people are living their lives. You know, socially, we saw the emergence, the rise of coffee houses. That's affecting people socially very much. Thinkers and poets and artists are gathering in these places and having big, important conversations. But yeah, we can see it's really becoming a major industry affecting the economy as well. Innovative farmers refined their growing techniques, improving both the quantity and quality of the beans. Ooh, this is a hard sentence, huh? So, innovative farmers. Farmers who are innovative. What does innovative mean? It means that you are good at coming up with new ideas. You are very creative. You have a creative mind, right? You're good at thinking up new ideas. Innovative farmers. So why are they innovative? What are these farmers doing that makes them so innovative? Well, they are refining their growing techniques. What's refining? They are improving the way they grow the beans. They are perfecting the way they grow the beans, polishing their growing techniques the way they grow the beans. They're honing their growing techniques. In other words, they are always finding better and better ways to grow coffee beans. By doing this, they improve both the quantity and the quality of the beans. Quantity meaning the amount of beans, right? The amount, so they are making more and more of these coffee beans, and the quality of the beans. The beans are of higher and higher quality. So there's more coffee beans and they're better coffee beans. That is what makes these farmers so innovative, right? They're very innovative. Advances in brewing methods allowed coffee to develop a richer and more complex flavor. Oh, another tough sentence here. Advances in brewing methods. So basically, as people are making coffee, they are also coming up with smarter and smarter ways to make coffee, right? So every time they find a new way to make coffee, a smarter way to make coffee, we can say there has been an advance in brewing methods, right? They've advanced their brewing methods. So we can use it as a noun or as a verb. Here's in the verb form, right? They have advanced their brewing methods. They've made their methods of making coffee, the way they make coffee better, right? Okay, so as they do this, as they are making, their methods better and better, they are getting better and better at making coffee or brewing coffee. Coffee itself is changing. It's developing a richer and more complex flavor, a more sophisticated flavor, a richer flavor. In other words, it's not such a simple flavor anymore. It's the opposite of simple. Now it's very complex, very sophisticated. That's a big $10 word, right? Sophisticated. A richer flavor. There's more to it. There are more layers to the flavor of the coffee. It's more interesting to drink because the flavor profile or the way it tastes is more complex, more complicated, right? So over the centuries, drinking coffee evolved into a daily ritual enjoyed by millions worldwide. It evolved into this daily ritual. It turned into a daily ritual. It became a daily ritual. It grew into a daily ritual enjoyed by millions worldwide. Okay, so that just means over the years, over the lots of years, the centuries, right? Drinking coffee, the act of drinking coffee, the ritual of drinking coffee, this thing that people like to do every day. They have their little rituals. This turned into something that was enjoyed by millions of people all across the world. Guys, we're almost done with today's story. Don't give up yet. Keep pushing. We are almost there. In today's world, modern cafes blend tradition with innovation, offering a wide range of brews. Okay. So modern cafes that you can see in the year 2025, they blend two things. They mix two things. They're mixing together these two ideas. Tradition, like the old way of doing coffee, old coffee culture, right? And they're mixing that with innovation, new ways of doing things. And that offers a wide range of brews, a wide variety of brews, tons of different brews to customers, right? There are lots of different kinds of coffee you can choose from, you can pick from. Expert baristas, or people who make coffee, right? They craft or make coffee drinks, often creating beautiful latte art as a personal touch. Yeah, they will personalize your drink for you, right? If you get a latte, maybe the barista will make a special picture in the foam of the latte, the foamy part on top. So that's a nice personal touch. It's like they're making it special just for you, right? So expert baristas, experts who make coffee, this is something they do just to make the whole experience a little bit more special, a little bit more personalized, right? The aroma of freshly brewed coffee continues to evoke fond memories and inspire new ideas. Ooh, okay. We remember aroma, that's a good smell, of freshly brewed coffee. It continues to do what? Continues to evoke fond memories, to stir up fond memories, awaken fond memories, bring back fond memories, conjure up fond memories. So yeah, when you have a cup of coffee, maybe that is something really special to you, and it takes you back takes you back. You have lots of fond memories drinking coffee, and it continues to inspire new ideas as well. I'm sure there are plenty of us who will go and have a cup of coffee and get lots of work done. The reason you are so effective at getting work done is because you got that energy boost from your coffee, right? So it helps us make lots of progress with our work. Coffee is now more than just a beverage, so it's not just a drink anymore. It's a symbol of connection and shared experiences, an emblem of connection, a representation of connection and shared experiences. This is kind of an abstract sentence. An abstract sentence. It's a little tough to understand literally, right? So basically, this is saying that coffee means more than just a beverage to us. It is more than just a beverage to us. It symbolizes more than that. It's an important symbol of connection, shared experiences. In other words, it brings people together, right? So as you enjoy your next cup, remember the fascinating tale or story that turned humble berries into a global brew. What is humble? You know, these berries, they were very inconspicuous, very unassuming. Just by looking at them, you wouldn't expect that they were so amazing, so impressive, so incredible. By looking at these simple red berries, you would never have guessed that someday they would change the entire world, right? All right, my friends, if you are still with me, then you are doing amazing. So take your hand, give yourself a pat on the back. We finished today's story. Now, let's take a vocabulary quiz. The quiz is 10 questions, and then after the quiz, at the end of today's lesson, we have some speaking practice as well. So let's jump in. Let's keep going. Number 1, the detective found the hidden clues. Absolutely what? Yeah, what did he think about the clues? The clues were very boring, intriguing, or unexciting. In 3, 2, 1... Yeah, intriguing. He found the clues absolutely intriguing, absolutely interesting, fascinating. Here are some bonus example sentences. The new puzzle game is so intriguing that I can't stop playing it. The documentary was intriguing, especially the part about ancient civilizations. So boring, unexciting, those are antonyms, opposite words of intriguing. Question number 2, my little puppy is so what that he never stops running around. So energetic, so lethargic, so sluggish. In 3, 2, 1, the answer is energetic. Let's take a look at some bonus example sentences here. The music festival was filled with energetic performances that kept everyone dancing. Energetic performances, performances that were full of energy, lively performances, right? After a good night's sleep, I feel much more energetic and ready to work. You have a lot more energy after a good night's sleep. Lethargic and sluggish, those are two words that mean you don't have a lot of energy. You are moving slow. Question 3, water is what for all forms of life on Earth? Is water optional, essential, or irrelevant? And 3, 2, 1, water is essential for all forms of life on Earth. You cannot do without it. It's crucial, it's critical, it's very, very important, right? So, a warm coat is essential in cold weather to stay comfortable. Very important. Good communication skills are essential for success in most careers. 4, the what scent of freshly baked bread drew everyone to the kitchen? The sickening scent, the nauseating scent, the intoxicating scent. In 3, 2, 1... intoxicating. It smells so good, right? The intoxicating scent or aroma. Remember, we could say aroma or fragrance. The intoxicating scent of freshly baked bread drew everyone to the kitchen. It drew them in. It attracted them to the kitchen, right? So the view from the mountaintop was so intoxicating that we stayed for hours. We can see that a view can be intoxicating. A really beautiful view can be intoxicating. The crowd was swept up by the intoxicating rhythm of the drums. Yeah, the rhythm of the drums was intoxicating. Sickening makes you sick to your stomach. Nauseating, same thing, makes you feel sick, makes you want to throw up. So, an aroma, a nice scent, a nice fragrance is not going to be sickening, not going to be nauseating. It's going to be intoxicating, makes you want to smell more. My friend Something, that new TV series, he watches episodes back to back. My friend was fed up with the new TV series. My friend was hooked on that new TV series. My friend was tired of that new TV series. In 3, 2, 1, my friend was hooked on that series. Yeah, if he was watching episodes back to back, what does that mean? That means he is binge watching these episodes. Binge watching. He can't stop watching. So he's hooked, right? He can't stop. After trying that new video game, I was hooked on it instantly, right away. She was hooked on the mystery novel and stayed up all night reading. If you're hooked on something, you're like addicted to it, right? But if you're fed up with something, you're so sick of it. You don't want to do it anymore. Ugh, I'm fed up with my work, right? I'm fed up with my job. I don't want to go there anymore. I don't want to work there anymore. I'm fed up with it. I'm tired of it. That's the opposite of hooked on, right? Hopefully, you guys are hooked on my videos and you want to keep watching. He was something about the new diet plan and wanted more evidence before trying it. He was enthusiastic about the diet plan. He was skeptical about the new diet plan. He was certain about the new diet plan. In 3, 2, 1, he was skeptical about the new diet plan. He wasn't sure about it. He was hesitant to go all in with this new diet plan. He was on the fence, right? People were initially, or at first, they were skeptical of her proposal, but she proved them wrong. Yeah, this proposal, this idea that this woman had, people were skeptical. They weren't sure about it, but in the end, she proved them wrong. I'm skeptical of advertisements that promise huge benefits with no effort, right? If there's some fad diet pill that says, just take a pill and you'll lose 100 pounds in 1 week. Obviously, you should be skeptical of something like that, right? Oh, get rich quick, get rich fast. You should be skeptical when you hear language like that. Don't be certain about it. Don't be enthusiastic. You should be skeptical. Sometimes a certain level of being skeptical is healthy, right? A certain level of skepticism. Skepticism is healthy. The meeting was postponed or delayed because of the something noise from the construction site next door. The tranquil noise, the serene noise, the disruptive noise. In 3, 2, 1, the answer is disruptive. Yeah, the noise is messing everything up, right? So it's disruptive. The toddlers became disruptive during the ceremony, so their parents took them outside. Yeah, the toddlers, the little kids, they're making a lot of noise. They're going to mess everything up. They're going to ruin the day, right? So they are being disruptive. A broken air conditioner can be disruptive to a comfortable work environment. This is a good example here. If you're at work, at the office, trying to get some work done, but the temperature is really, really high. You're really hot. You're sweating. You're very uncomfortable. Why are you so uncomfortable? The air conditioner is broken, right? So that's really disruptive to you and your work. It's stopping you, preventing you from getting your work done, right? We've talked about these two words before. If something is tranquil or serene, then there's no stress, there's no worries, it's relaxing, it's quiet, like maybe reading a book next to a pond, right? And there's no noise and the temperature's perfect and you're so relaxed and calm. That's a very tranquil scene, a very serene scene, a very peaceful scene. Plants tend to something when they receive adequate sunlight and water. Adequate means enough. Yeah, enough of something. So what do they do when they get enough sun and water? Do they wither, flourish, or dwindle? In 3, 2, 1, the answer is flourish, right? Her business began to flourish after she introduced online ordering. So her business is doing really well. It's flourishing, right? The arts community can flourish when given proper funding and support. So this community, this art community, it can do really well when it's given the proper amount, the right amount of funding or money and support. You are supporting it enough, right? If a plant withers, then it dies. If it dwindles, then it dies, right? But if a plant flourishes, then it grows and is healthy and strong. He's something his painting style by practicing new techniques every day. He worsened his painting style, deteriorated his painting style, or refined his painting style. In 3, 2, 1, the answer is refined. Just like coffee makers refined their brewing techniques in our story, their methods of making coffee. They refined these techniques, right? The chef refined the recipe until it reached perfection. He refined the recipe. He made it better and better and better until it reached perfection. In other words, until it was perfect, right? She refined her presentation skills by joining the debate club. So she joins this club where you argue and debate with each other, right? And in doing so, she refined her what skills? Her presentation skills. Yeah, so by joining this club, her presentation skills are getting better and better. She's refining them, right? She's not worsening her skills. Her skills are not deteriorating. That's a big word. Deteriorating. Her skills are not deteriorating or getting worse and worse, right? Nope, just the opposite. She's refining her skills, improving her skills, perfecting her skills, honing her skills, making her skills better and better. Final question, question 10. Push, guys, don't give up. This old photograph can what? Powerful memories from my childhood. Can evade, evoke, or erase powerful memories from my childhood. In 3, 2, 1, evoke. Evoke. Basically meaning bring back these memories, right? A familiar song can evoke strong emotions, can bring up strong emotions, and transport us back in time. The painting was designed to evoke a sense of calm and nostalgia, right? This painting, it was designed to make you feel a certain way, make you feel calm, give you a sense of nostalgia, or make you remember the past in a fond way. That's what nostalgia is, right? If you think back to your childhood and you think about the good times and you miss those good times, that's nostalgia. That's feeling nostalgic, right? Guys, how many of those 10 questions did you get correct? Let me know in the comments section, and let's move on to my favorite part of my videos, the speaking practice. So guys, what we're going to do is I have 3 questions for us to respond to. I will respond first, and I will talk for 1 minute. This is a great opportunity to practice your listening comprehension skills. Just listen to me and try to understand what I'm saying. Then it will be your turn to respond. Try to speak for 1 whole minute. Now, 1 minute doesn't sound like a long time, but sometimes it can really feel like a long time. But even if you're halfway through and you don't know what else to say, keep pushing. Retell the story of coffee. Talk about your day. Talk about this or that. Don't stop talking, because the more we push ourselves to speak, the more we speak at length, okay, the better our speaking skills will be, the more progress we will make with our speaking skills. So here's question 1. Do you prefer coffee or tea, and why? Very simple question. You can start your response with this: I prefer blank because, then tell me why you prefer that. So basically, are you a coffee person or a tea person? And give a reason or two why. I'll go first. Here I go. So this is an interesting question for me because I really want to be a tea person. I really want to live a slow and comfortable lifestyle where I'm not rushing around. I don't feel hectic. I don't feel stressed out. I take things slow. I go slow, right? I really want to be that kind of person. But the reality is, I just love coffee so much. I'm hooked on coffee, right? I can't get enough of it. In fact, I have a cup of coffee with me right now, and I just love it. So I think I'm more of a coffee person, even though it messes with my sleep and sometimes just makes me feel tired instead of waking me up. I'd like to make a change and become a tea person, but that's easier said than done, right? That was my 1-minute response to this question. I talked for the whole minute. Now it's your turn. Push yourself. Don't stop talking. Go ahead. Question number 2. Do you think children should be allowed to drink caffeine? Caffeine is the chemical in coffee and sometimes found in tea and in soft drinks like Coca-Cola that makes you feel awake, that gives you energy, right? So here's how you can start your response. In my opinion, kids or children should or shouldn't be allowed to drink caffeine because, and then give some reasons why. Once again, I'll go first. Here's my minute. This is an interesting question, and I think the best way to respond is to put yourself in the shoes of a parent and pretend that you have kids. Or maybe you do have kids. Now, I don't have kids yet, right? I don't have kids yet. Maybe someday I will. Right now, I don't. But if I were a parent, I do not think I would allow my children to drink caffeine. Now, my reason for that is very simple. Kids have lots of natural energy, right? Kids have tons of natural energy. They don't need coffee. They don't need tea. They don't need these soft drinks. Kids don't wake up in the morning groggy like adults who have to work do, right? So because of that, I think adding extra energy is not a good idea. We don't want them too energized, right? That was my response. Now it's your turn. Answer this question. Take the full minute. Go for it. final question for today's video. How would the world be different if coffee was never discovered? This one ties back to the story that we heard today. How do we respond? If coffee was never discovered, the world would be different because, and then give some ways that the world would be different, right? So, once again, here's my demonstration. I'll go first. Here I go. If coffee was never discovered, the world would be different because people wouldn't have as much energy. In today's story, we learned about the history of coffee, the origin story of coffee, like where it comes from, right? And we learned that throughout the ages, throughout the last handful of centuries, the last couple hundred years, coffee has been giving people energy. It's been bringing people together too, bringing communities together. So I don't think that the world would be advanced as it is now if coffee had never been discovered. I'm sure that lots of inventions and innovations and, advances in medicine and science are related to coffee, right? Because it makes people work hard. So without coffee, those might not exist. Ooh, this is a tough one. That was my minute. Now it's your turn. Take that minute, guys. Don't give up. Push, push, push through that minute. Go for it. If you made it all the way through today's video, then I think channel membership would be a great fit for you because you will get so much more out of my videos by becoming a member. What will you get? First of all, you'll get PDFs for all my videos. You can preview lessons. You can review lessons. This way, you won't forget what we talked about. You won't forget what you learned, right? It's very important to review lessons after you study them, or else it could all be for nothing. And you don't want to waste your time, right? You want to remember what you learn. PDFs are a great way to do that. Print them out like I do, or use them digitally. Another benefit of becoming a member is you will get access to hours of bonus videos. Hours and hours of exclusive content just for members that the public cannot watch. Plus, if you like learning through reading, then you will also get access to my English book club. Every month, we read an easy-to-read English novel together. I provide a detailed study guide that will help you with the book and make reading it easier. We also will have discussions. You can make friends. This is a little community we have in my membership, right? And at the end of each month, I post a video reflecting on that month's book so we can all discuss it together. Guys, you can get all of this for just $5, the price of a cup of coffee. Not to mention, you will be supporting me as your YouTube English teacher. The more people become members, the more content I can make and the better content I can make. So if you like me, if you like my teaching style, if you want to take that extra step and support me, I would appreciate it so, so much. Really, I'm just one guy making videos. I write all the scripts, I shoot the videos, I edit the videos, I upload the videos. I do it all by myself. And I still work a full-time job aside from YouTube. So it would really help me out so much. Thank you to all of my members, the people who have already become members. You guys make my work possible. Love you so much. And if you are in the middle of a study session, don't stop now. Keep going. I'm going to put another video up on the screen. Go click on it and I'll meet you there. Come on, let's go.